This video is brought to you by the Madison Misfits. Today, we'll be talking about product markets, factor markets, leakages and injections, the foreign sector, and components of GDP and national income.
Wow!
The product market is simply a part of the economy in which a final good or service is bought and sold. A product market doesn't include trading in raw or other intermediate materials, and instead focuses on finished goods purchased by consumers, businesses, the public sector, and foreign buyers. Basically, any sale that transpires between a business and a household, where the household's income becomes the business's revenue, counts as a sale having taken place in the product market. Examples would include groceries, office supplies, or new car parts from any vendor. Services count as well. And those would include a visit to the doctor's office, a massage, or a legal consultation.
Now let's talk about the factor market. The factor market is a type of market in which the materials or factors that are needed to the production process are bought and sold. Markets of this type encompass products that are directly and indirectly associated with the creation and delivery of finished products to consumers. From this perspective, it is possible to consider labor markets, markets that buy and sell raw materials, and even markets that transact resources for management as part of a larger factor market. Demand is a powerful driver of any factor market situation, and it helps to determine the relationship between these types of markets and the markets that provide finished goods that are bought by consumers. For example, buyers and sellers of automobile engine components will base their production on the demand for their products from automakers. When the automakers identify an increase in demand for their cars, they in turn increase their demand for parts and components necessary to manufacture those cars, a move that increases activity in that sector of the factor market as suppliers seek to meet that increased demand. The illustration shows the circular flow of decision-making and economic activity involving businesses and households, and how in the factor market, households sell their resources and businesses purchase them. In the illustration, resources flow from households to businesses and money flows from businesses to households.
Let's talk about leakages and injections. In the circular flow, money can be gained, lost, or kept the same. A leakage is defined as money that leaves the circular flow, or money that is not consumed from a person's income. As seen in the illustration, a good example of a leakage is saving within a household, because a portion of the income is not spent and the money does not go back into the circular flow. The opposite of this, an injection, is loosely described as frivolous spending. It is spending regardless of income or independent of what your budget is. An example of a large-scale injection would be investment spending by businesses. They buy goods to be used for production and expansion.
The foreign sector, also called the balance of payments sector, accounts for all the goods imported and exported to and from the U.S. economy from foreign countries. When foreigners buy goods and services produced by domestic firms, they are exports in the circular flow of income. Exports are inflows into the economy. There are three different institutions that interact with the foreign sector on a regular basis: the household sector, the business sector, and the government sector. The household sector buys goods imported from abroad and pays for those goods with money. The householder may receive transfer payments from the foreign sector for services rendered by them in foreign countries. In the business sector, business firms provide many services for foreign countries, such as shipping, insurance, and banking, for which they receive payments from abroad. They also receive dividends, profits, and the like for investments made in foreign countries. The business sector pays the foreign sector for imports of capital goods, machinery, raw materials, consumer goods, and services from abroad. Within the government sector, governments export and import goods and services and lend to and borrow from foreign countries. For any exported good, the government receives payment from abroad. This image shows the circular flow of the four-sector open economy, with saving, taxes, and imports shown as leakages from the circular flow on the right side of the image. The left side shows investment, government purchases, and exports as injections into the circular flow. Imports, exports, and transfer payments come from the three domestic sectors. These outflows and inflows then pass through the foreign sector.
There are four components of GDP. The basic formula for measuring GDP is C plus I plus G plus X minus IM. C is for personal consumption, which consists of goods and services. Both of these make up nearly 75% of the GDP. I is for business investments, which are purchases that companies make to new consumer goods. G is government spending, which is nearly 20% of the GDP, where federal, state, and local government purchases of goods and services are counted. X minus imports is for net exports, which is calculated by getting the goods and services produced in the U.S. and sold abroad and subtracting the goods and services purchased by consumers, businesses, and governments that were not made in the United States. National income is equal to net national product after indirect business taxes such as sales taxes and excise taxes are subtracted out and business subsidies are added in. In this way, national income represents the payments to owners of the factors of production. This includes the owners of labor, for example workers, as well as the owners of capital, such as land, buildings, and money, who lend out this capital in return for interest payments. The basic formula for measuring national income is wages plus interest plus rent plus profit plus proprietor's income.